My dad was in the military and he was stationed in Mountain View, so we up and moved when I was 3 years old. And then fast forward 4 years, and my dad got seriously injured and put in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. But I am particular. I'm very slow to hire, very quick to fire. My slogan is real estate with a Southern charm. And it's funny because I say that because I'll be nice to you and all of that, but if you're mean to me, I'll bless your heart and walk away. I don't care. It's not going to faze me because at the end of the day, it's business.
So who did you have to become to be who you are now?
I had to get out of my own way.
Hello and welcome to Own the Room with Pam and Gayle. Here it is a place where we sit down with women who have vision, lead with their heart, and unstoppable energy. These women are where their leadership meets with authenticity. Today, we are excited about welcoming Noelle Guthrie. She is a woman who we're looking forward to sharing her stories with us and how she's found her voice to own the room. So welcome, Noelle.
Thank you. Thank you.
So to get started, we are very excited to learn as much as we can about you. We have some powerful questions. No, not really. We just want to get to know you. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got here today.
So, well, I feel like an important part of this is knowing of my upbringing rather, because I feel like it shaped who I am as a person in whole. So I spent half my life in California, the other half in the South. So I was born in New Orleans. My dad was in the military and he was stationed in Mountain View. So we up and moved when I was 3 years old. And then fast forward 4 years and my dad got seriously injured and put in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. So he got medically discharged and we moved to Mariposa, where I went to school until 9th grade. My parents actually foreclosed on their home during the whole market crash and all of that, when, I won't say the name, but a mortgage company was magically losing the house payments, but they were still cashing them. And so they lost their home and moved back into my grandmother's home 6 months to the day of my grandmother passing. Oh my God. And so they've remodeled the house so my dad can be in there and all of that. And I say that because budgeting and finances have always been super critical for me. I'm always the person to go out and find the deal and find the best, way to spend the dollar and all of that. And so the critical part of all of it is I look for that with my clients too. I want to make sure that they aren't getting taken advantage of or any of that stuff too, money pits. And so that's just how I am in general. And I'm authentic about it and brash sometimes about the way the finances come into play. And I feel like a lot of my clients appreciate that, where it's not as openly transparent about numbers.
Absolutely.
So
I was talking to Gayle just yesterday about a closing statement that I saw where I was a listing agent and I was looking at the buyer side of it. And I said, oh my gosh, this buyer paid $17,000 in closing costs. And I was kind of going over what the line items were, and I was astounded.
That was just in closing. That wasn't even the down payment
Yeah,
funds.
no, these were closing costs. These were points charged by the lenders. And I thought to myself, where was their agent? Why weren't they? So those are the things that we're talking about. And those are the things that you're saying is important to you.
Correct.
When you're dealing with people that you're not just watching your monies, you're watching their monies.
Correct.
And it's too bad that those buyers on that listing that I had didn't have you, because I think they would have saved a lot of money.
Well,
So
and
I was horrified when I saw that.
it's important.
Yes.
At the end of the
absolutely.
day, I always tell clients, I want your money going towards your house. And if you're okay with the house having cracks and having foundation problems, then fantastic. But at least then it's being brought to your forefront up front. So you're not rose-colored glasses and then said, what the heck did you sell me in 60 days? I don't want that.
A realtor's highest and most valuable part of what we do is our fiduciary responsibility, and that's what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
That you take fiduciary responsibility so highly.
And it's from my core. And if people say I'm brash or I'm mean or I've been called a bitch before. And,
No.
and I'm like, oh, okay, I can see it depending on how you treat me.
Yeah.
But it's funny because my slogan is real estate with a Southern charm. And it's funny because I say that because I'll be nice to you and all of that. But if you're mean to me, I'll bless your heart and walk away. I don't care. It's not going to faze me because at the end of the day, it's business.
Oh, I love that.
I'm not here to make friends in the industry. I've got plenty of friends. I'm just here to do business by my client and make it the correct way to go through.
So you are a wife.
I am a wife.
And you have children.
I am.
You're a girl mom.
I'm a girl mom through and through. So, and it's funny I say that because I have opposites, 180-degree opposite kids. So my oldest is the cheerleader, the dancer, she's officially a model. So she's signed with 2 model agencies.
Oh
so now I have to be the momager too for her in all my spare time. And then the other one plays rugby, co-ed rugby, and she's the only girl on the team.
Oh my goodness.
So, and she plays U12 and she's 10. And so it's interesting to see the dynamic of the 2 different personalities and try to make sure I'm level-headed with both and teaching them the right characteristics and charms of life and make sure that they're going down the right path. So it's interesting for sure.
So that complements those hard skills, soft skills. I mean,
Correct.
that's a very interesting balanced approach.
Correct.
So you've been able to develop that in yourself, I'm imagining, as well. Right.
Well, and I call my husband my oldest child because he's the one that I actually got to pick. And so it is what it is. And so it's funny because he is very much like my youngest. They have the same personality, very mild-mannered. Nothing really phases them. And then my oldest and I are spitting images. It's like copy and paste through and through.
Oh,
and so we butt heads like cats
I'll
and dogs.
bet you do. Yeah. And she's 13, you said.
She's 13. She's 13. So, she knows the world. It's fine.
So, and you're also a team leader.
I am a team leader.
Tell us about the structure of your team for those that are agents and are familiar with team structures. So how many agents?
Yeah.
Kind of
So
the model a little
our
bit.
team is a little bit different, especially right now. So as of the last 60 days, we've had a huge shift in our team. So we've had 2 buyer's agents exit the team and our transaction coordinator exit the team to be able to help shift into the next growth pattern that I feel our team can go into and what the vision and the future that I want to see the team go into. In order to do that, we needed to grow in a different manner. So currently right now we have 1 agent on the team and we're looking for new ones. But I am particular. I'm very slow to hire, very quick to fire. So
who are you? What is the agent you're looking for?
The agent that I'm looking for is someone that is tenacious, that has the desire to learn and grow without the ability to forget what they've learned. That's the hardest part that I'm knowing or seeing is that people will go and learn things and then you have to go and reteach them again and again and again and then again.
Yes,
and that's my biggest pet peeve.
And we as team leaders have learned that I tell Pam that we are professional repeaters.
Yes.
That is
professional repeaters. Yes.
Especially with the size of our team.
Correct.
With 60 agents on the team, that we have many times that we just have to be that professional repeater and or find systems that obviously can take some of that off of our plate. But it is a full-time job just being a professional repeater. And you have so many other things that you're doing that you don't have time to go back and retrain and retrain and retrain.
So, and I do take into factor. So the way my office is set up, we have an office in the Ranchos. It's just for my team. And it's interesting the way it's set up. So we have one big room and we call it the bullpen. And all of the desks are in the same area. My desk included is in the same area. I'm in the bullpen with them. All of us are doing our calls. They can hear me making my calls just like I can hear them making theirs. And then we have 3 private closed off offices that are all designed for content creation, which I'm sure we will get into. And all of them can be conference rooms as well. So then that way they can go and privately meet with their client or they can leave the door open and let me hear. It's whatever they prefer. But at the same time, I'm always available whenever they're there.
Previously, we're at one of my favorite companies, which was Keller Williams.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you learned a lot about
Yes.
how you wanted to structure your team
I
and
did.
use the traditional Gary Keller's traditional listing agent, buyer's agent framework.
To an extent.
To an extent. So you've modified that.
I did. So I have an elevation opportunity. So they have to start out as buyer's agent, learn the contract. I feel that if you learn the purchase contract, the listing contracts come easier because the meat and potatoes actually comes from the purchase contract.
Yes.
And you can know what the buyers are thinking. You know what they're looking for. You know what they're going to present and how they're going to write the offers in order to be able to properly represent a seller. So you have to start with a buyer's agent first. And then if you get a listing, we have opportunity options. So you can choose how involved you want to be or how not involved you want to be. Regardless, I'm going to be involved. But it just depends on how much responsibility you want to take on also and how comfortable you feel. So, but they can't really do that until they can do a certain number of buyer transactions.
What is the name of your team?
We're the Guthrie Real Estate Team at Real Broker.
With a traditional legacy broker, Keller Williams, and then you moved to a cloud brokerage, or was there any stops in between?
No.
What was the difference? What was that change like? Was it easy to make?
It was a very tough decision, to be honest. So I've only ever known Keller Williams. I actually started at Keller Williams in 2015, and then 2020 came around. We all know what happened. And I was actually the lead buyer's agent on a team for 4 years prior to that. And I was the number one buyer's agent in all of Keller Williams for 2 years, making $180,000 gross commission as a buyer's agent, which means splitting half my commission.
Right.
So $90,000.
No, I was making the 180.
Oh, okay. That was what you brought?
That's what I was my
so
take home.
$360,000 gross commission income.
Correct.
Whoa, that's a lot of houses.
Yeah.
That's a lot of units.
I was slinging them. And my girls were little too. Whenever I joined Keller Williams, my youngest was only 3 months old. So almost 4. And so, I took my last exam in the hospital delivering my daughter.
Oh my gosh.
That shows you the level of commitment that I have
that you have
to this industry. And so, because I was just done.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do property management anymore. I was an office manager for property management
so
company.
that's what you were doing. I was going to ask what led you into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a lot. We managed 600 doors and I had no desire to do that ever again.
I just can't even imagine doing property management.
It's awful.
That seems like that would be so tough.
It was awful.
Because you're constantly dealing with people and their problems.
Correct.
Yeah.
And there's no break.
No.
None whatsoever.
No, it's 24/7.
And you're a constant fixer, which I felt actually helped me in this industry because I'm a problem solver by nature. And so it just helps me be able to think outside of the box. And it was funny because when I was at Keller Williams on the team, we had a listing that wouldn't sell. And I said, well, we know this buyer wants to buy it. We know the seller wants to sell it to that. Can't we just do a reverse offer? And the team leader was like, I don't even know if that's legal. And I was like, let's figure it out.
Yeah.
And so
we are a problem solver.
It's just think outside the box and see what's legal. And then let's go that route and see what we can do. And ultimately that ended up coming together and closing. But it's just interesting how my brain automatically is like, okay, let's fix this. Figure out how to do
You're
this
a problem solver.
And so it's interesting whenever, with the problem solver mindset in mind, whenever COVID happened, my team lead said, the market's going to crash. It's not going to come back. It's going to be rough and it's not going to do. And I said, I just don't see that.
Yeah.
And I went to school for communications. It wasn't for, economics or any of that. I just did, basic high school economics and like not even the good ones. And so I was like, I just don't see it. It doesn't make sense to me. The inventory is still really low. It doesn't make sense. And so we agreed, both of us, to separate. And February 2020, I got my broker's license because I was tired of veteran agents calling me kid.
That's, I think, the year I got my broker's license.
I was just going to say, there's some commonality there.
So I got tired of them calling me kid. So I said, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to get my brokers.
Just so they don't call me kid. It's the most ridiculous reason that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm tired of people telling me I'm young and I'm a kid. So I got my broker's license February, May, and then COVID happened. And then May, I left and immediately hired a transaction coordinator who doubled as a transaction coordinator, an executive assistant, and a marketing girl. My marketing girl was from Portland, Oregon, and she ran a really big, successful team doing the marketing there, who was with Keller Williams. And then about 6 months later, she left Keller Williams and went to EXP. And she couldn't really do the systems through Keller Williams as easy because she didn't have the login anymore and all of that. And so we switched to another girl who was still with Keller Williams. Her dad was a team leader, all of that. And I kept her for 3 years. And then finally we decided to part ways, and I have the marketing team that I have now. So who's been with me since 2023. So, and they're actually operating out of Canada.
Boy, you were sure right about not seeing that the market was going to crash.
I just didn't see it. It didn't make sense to me.
It didn't make sense to me either. I remember, they closed the doors and everybody went home, and I kind of drummed my fingers for a little bit and went, man, I cannot do this. There's got to be a way to continue selling real estate. And so Gayle and I ended up being partners and, moving through that. And it became the most phenomenal real estate market.
The absolute best I've ever seen.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, and even now, it's funny because people ask me, what do you think about the market? I'm like, I feel like we're back in 2017 all over again. Yeah. It's not a bad market.
No.
House prices are technically still up. It's just there's a lot more credits, a lot longer days on market. So it's the same thing, give or take.
Yeah.
And so everyone's like, I guess you're right. I'm like, it's pretty similar, actually.
And people want to hear that.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear that the market's awful unless they're an investor looking for
Correct.
low price properties. The majority of people, that's a great elevator pitch that you just said. And we're always talking to our agents about what is your driveway pitch or what is your elevator pitch.
Correct.
And that is really, that's good. I feel like the market is good. I think we're back in 2017. Oh, I can go back in time. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah. Well, and then it gets that conversation, right? Because then they'll say, well, what do you mean? Well, there was a lot more credits or closing cost or assistance in some way from the seller, and your days on market were longer.
Right.
So if you were pricing significantly over, you weren't moving. So you'd have to do price drops. Just is what it is. So buyers will buy it eventually, just for what price?
Yeah.
That's exactly true. True. So before you were a realtor, you were a property manager. Before that, school.
So my life has always kind of circled around real estate, which is quite funny.
Okay.
And so it kind of built me into who I am. And so I went to school at Mississippi State for communications with an emphasis on broadcasting. So this is nothing new to me.
Yeah.
What's funny is I had zero desire to be in front of the camera.
I was going to ask you about that because there's that broadcast piece.
Correct.
So if you're going to major in broadcasting, you got to be somewhere in the broadcast.
Correct.
Not necessarily the talent, but you are the talent.
Correct. So what's funny is growing up, I actually wanted to be the producer in hotspot zones. So I wanted to be the producer that went with the camera person and the reporter to the war zones. That's what I wanted to do.
Really?
So I'm adventurous. That's just who I am.
Yeah.
Wow.
Except I hate things that go fast. Guardians and I are not friends at Disneyland. But, it is what it is. And so I've always been that way. So whenever I graduated college in 3 years because I was done with school. I knew exactly what I was going to do in junior year, and I went straight into it my freshman year, and I did 21 units right out the gate first semester.
Wow.
So, and I only had one B. So I only had one C in all of college, and it was microbiology.
A little bit of an overachiever.
A little bit. I don't know how to say no. That's the funny part. And my husband gets on my butt about it all the time. He's like, you got to say no. Just got to say no. Got to learn to shut it up and just say no. And I'm like, yeah, but I can make it work. It's fine. We'll figure it out. Not a big deal. We'll figure it out is our statement.
Yeah, that's a no.
So the common statement in our house is, I'll figure it out. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So, or, it all comes right out of our butt. It's one or the other. Yeah. We just don't sleep. It's fine.
Yeah.
And so, but I left college. I did my last semester online because my husband and so I met my husband when I was 14 and he was 19 in college at Fresno State going to school with my sister. And like I said, I would skip school and go to skip school. I met him at Fresno State in Freedom of Speech area. And I told my mom the day I met him I was going to marry him. And she said, no, you're not. Because he was in a fraternity in college and I was in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And so fast forward, he came out to see my sister graduate from Mississippi State, and we started dating. And so we did a 1.5 year long distance. And then I moved out and came here, and we got engaged promptly thereafter. And
so that's what brought you from Mississippi
back
to
here.
Fresno. Yeah, back to Fresno.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And so he was running his dad's propane company. He's been working there for over 20 years, almost 25 actually. And so when we started dating, he only had the company to like 400,000 gallons per year. It was a pretty small company. And I said, you're either going to piss or get off the pot.
Yeah.
Like, don't sit there and piddle your thumbs when you could be growing the company. Either do something or leave and go do something else. And so he took it seriously. And since then, we're now up to 3 million gallons. So since 2009.
That's huge.
What's the name of his company?
Valley Propane.
Okay. Little plug for Valley Propane.
And his office is right across the street from mine.
Oh, my goodness.
So we have lunch almost every day. And everyone's like, oh, could you work with your husband? Absolutely not. I would murder him. There's no way. No way. We are oil and water whenever it comes to business. 100%.
Well,
so,
at least you know that.
We do.
That's the good news. At least you know that.
But I feel he's completely the yin to the yang. And so he keeps me grounded. So I went from marrying him, and I got a job at Office Depot doing the copy and print division. So I learned how to do all the marketing design and all of that stuff. And
I've waited in that line.
It's a long one sometimes.
Yes.
And then I went straight into working for Dave Kastner at Castech Pest Services. So I ran the entire termite company for him, and I did the whole general pest division. And so I learned all about termites and the treatment of them.
Well,
and
you were on the road to real
I was
estate,
circling,
weren't you? You were circling it.
And then I did property management for 2.5 years.
Goodness. You're right. Your whole career is circled around real estate.
So it just makes me who I am.
So who did you have to become to be who you are now?
I had to get out of my own way. That's the hardest part of learning as a new agent. I couldn't get out of my own head. And I love talking to new agents. And I'm like, the minute that you can get, or the fastest you can get to, I want to quit this business, the better. Gary Kittrick told me that a long time ago. And I love, so my sister-in-law is Dave Sawyer's daughter.
Okay.
Small world, right?
Yes.
And so Dave and Uncle Gary are really good friends. And so Uncle Gary told me, he goes, the faster you can get to, I want to quit this business, I hate this business, the better, because the next day you'll have a deal.
Yeah.
And he was 100% correct.
Right. Yeah.
And so I've taken that to my grave. And every single new agent, I tell them, the faster you can get there, the better, because you're going to get so fed up that you're going to want to quit. And the next day, immediately go back out and make the calls, because you're going to get it. Wow. And it's just that's the piece that everybody is missing. And the one thing that I wish I could have done differently is building the database sooner, correctly.
Yeah.
So Keller Williams teaches that pretty well, to be honest. But I didn't do it enough and touch it enough where now it's like, oh, okay. So now I'm doing it because we do a lot of events per year. We do 6 personal in-person events per year, and then we do 6 online. So it's a lot of events driven to our business. And we do a lot of publicity for it and all of that, but it's just a lot. If I would have done that to begin with, we could have kept that a lot smaller.
I think that if you polled 100 real estate agents, 99 of them would say exactly the same thing. It doesn't, and I'm going to ask what CRM that you use, but it really doesn't matter which one you use. It's use it.
Do you use it? Yes or no?
Use it? Yeah.
And so it's funny because Christy Majors used to say, well, I'm the post-it person or whatever, right? And it cracks me up. And I laughed at her for that for so long because I was full in on Keller Williams Command and all of that. And I had used Salesforce and Lion's Desk, and we had used several other ones, and I didn't really care for them. But even Lofty, I use Lofty. Do I use it to the full extent? No. What do I use? The postcards. It's the old school way. I'm a hands person.
Really?
I got to touch the paper.
Yeah.
And so COVID was hard for me when you couldn't hand out papers. I was like, it's going to be
a struggle. Nobody wanted, only if you had glove to glove.
It was a struggle. And so I'm a physical person. So I went back to the cards, and it works. It's whatever works for you.
So you really send out a lot of postcards?
No. So we do a lot of emails. a lot of text message, direct text messages to them. And I do them all from my cell phone, so I don't come over scammy or anything.
Right.
Most people have me saved in their phone.
Through your database,
Mm-hmm.
are you're texting or calling through your database, which has been a difficult challenge for us with our agents to get getting them used to always using their database as the way to communicate.
Right.
And then now that the AI function is in there that helps summarize or help write notes or all that sort of thing.
Yep.
So you are using that.
So we do, like I said, I use Lofty a little bit. I don't use it a whole bunch. But that's the funny part. I have a pretty good memory now, currently, right now.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that a little bit later. But so it's interesting because I'll just go through and I talk to every single person in my phone because if I don't want to talk to them, I delete them. It's the easiest part. If I cringe when their name comes up, I'm like, delete.
You don't put them in a nurture and give it to somebody else to follow up with?
No, because realistically, am I going to put my team through that too? If I was disrespected, downgraded, belittled,
yes,
yeah, I don't want anybody having to deal with them. So I mean, unless it's my worst enemy, then I'll give them the referral.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I mean, realistically, I'm just going to delete the call. I'm not going to keep putting myself through torture every time I have to come and call him.
No.
So, but I call 2 people or 2 categories per month. So unless we have a major in-person event that's going on, like our nonprofit dinner, I'm going to call everybody on my phone. But realistically, if I come across their alphabet letter and it's like, Jane Smith, great. Hey, Jane, how are you? How's the family? I'm going to go into the Ford script and just talk about their family, talk about their occupation, talk about, all of their wrecks and anything happening in their life and what they're dreaming of right now.
That's fantastic.
And
how many calls a day or a week do you make?
So it depends. I try a minimum of about 30 per day.
Whoa.
That's a lot.
That's success right there.
Yeah.
I mean, so do you have a system? So 2 things. One is, do you have systems already in place, or do you just do this naturally because you've done it so long? That's
where it is. So at first, I had to have a system in place, and we learned it from Keller Williams back in 2021, 20, maybe 20, because it was right when the market started hitting up really hot. And I would call 2 letters of the alphabet every week, and so then that way, and it wasn't like, the S and G's weren't together, God forbid, because that would be forever.
Yeah.
But I would take their last name, and if it landed in like A and W, great. I'm calling anybody in that group. So this whole week. And then that way I'm talking to every single person in my database every 13 weeks in person, or on the phone. And it's giving all of our events are giving us reasons to call them.
To give them.
I'm not calling them for nothing.
Which is huge. I mean, and I think that's the thing that agents really struggle about. What am I going to talk to them about? But you've got all of these events in the queue, so you have value to offer them when they pick up the phone. And what if they don't pick up the phone?
Then I leave them a voicemail. Hey, it's Noelle. Call me back whenever you have time.
Okay. So
I don't tell them why.
Oh, okay.
No, God, no. I never say why. Because realistically, if I say, hey, this is Noelle, I'm calling about this. I wanted to invite you to this. And I just wanted to see if you have anybody that wants to buy or sell real estate. They're not going to call you back.
Yeah. No, they're not. Yeah.
But if it's, hey, it's Noelle, call me back whenever you have a sec.
They call
Now they're
back.
curious. What's going on? Or heck, sometimes it's just to shoot the crap with them.
Yeah.
So, because it's just
to
been
check
a minute.
in and see how you're doing.
So what else is in your tech stack?
So, I do that, like I said, we do quite a bit of events. My husband and I opened a nonprofit in 22.
Yes, tell us about that.
So Brothers of 1868 Foundation was founded after
Noelle, say that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Brothers of 1868 Foundation.
Okay.
So it is a true 501c3. And we founded it in 2022 because 2 of my husband's fraternity brothers, which is where the 1868 came from, had passed away on Father's Day. So one of them actually was in the car with his family and got hit by a drunk driver. Oh. And he died on impact. And so they left behind 5 kids.
Oh, my goodness.
And so we started a nonprofit that creates interest-bearing college accounts for those kids. So we've had 1 graduate, and from the program, he graduated last year. And we currently have 14 other students in there right now.
So this foundation gets seed money.
Correct.
That goes into an interest-bearing.
It goes into a money market account.
A money market account.
And then we take that money and we have it all allocated to certain children for certain dollar amounts. So then that way, as soon as they graduate, we cut them a check directly to the child.
And so you do fundraisers.
We have one dinner per year.
One dinner per year, and that funds the entire
so
nonprofit.
what is the entry? So this is an amount of money that's put into each child's name. Is there a number that you use? Is it $2,000 per child?
So every single student child starts with $2,000 in their account, and then it goes up from there based on market and based on what we bring in the next year.
So that $2,000, fast forward at 10 years, 12 years, what does that grow to?
It depends on the student. So we have one student, for instance, who she's 9. And when she joined the program, she was 7. And year before last, during the dinner, her mom actually showed up. Her mom had stage 4 cancer and had since the little girl was 4. And mom was frail. She was only about 88 pounds at the dinner. And they had an item specifically donated for her daughter. And all of that money from that item went into her daughter's account because she knew what was going to happen. And so, and her mom had full custody of her daughter at that point, just by herself. And so that little girl ended up selling her item. It was a slab of meat. It was a cow. And so they sold the cow twice. So she raised $7,000 just for herself that night.
Oh, my goodness.
So hers is obviously a little bit more than the 2,000. So it just depends. We have a little boy who started the program at 6 months old. His money is going to be a lot larger than somebody who just graduated last year.
Sure.
So it just kind of depends.
So they can use these funds to go to technical college or to the university? Or
we have no limit on the money. They can go and buy a car. They can buy a house.
Oh,
They
okay.
can do anything with the money. As soon as they graduate, they get the money.
You just give them the check and
Correct.
Okay.
So with no strings attached, no questions, no checkup, no nothing. The only thing is that we do ask while they're in the program until they graduate that we have a current mailing address to them.
And how is it determined that the kids get into?
So there's a process of approval. So we do have a board that everybody, if say for instance, we just had 3 kids added 2 months ago, well, a month ago technically. But they were brought to our board 2 months ago because it didn't look good. And then mom passed away. And so last month. And so they officially submitted the letter to the board. The board voted and they were approved for all 3 kids. So now they do have an oldest sibling who has already graduated, who is in his 20s. And unfortunately, he doesn't get anything.
Right.
But it is what it is. That's part of our program.
So do you get to know these families, get involved with these families?
We do.
That's that's carrying a heavy load.
It is. It's very emotional. Our dinners are always hard because last year we had all but one family actually present at the dinner there. And so it was interesting when we were giving the speech about what the organization is for, you could see all of the families' faces. And some of the kids were even there that are the recipients. Yeah. So it's hard to see that and know the pain that they're going through, but know the future that they have possible.
And your kids watch this too?
So my kids are actually required in our family. My oldest daughter is the organizer. So she actually works for the nonprofit. And she is actually the organizer. So she has to go and talk to the venue and book the venue. She has to talk to the DJ. She has to sell all of the tables that are for sale and tickets. She does all of it. And then we had her do it last year. And then she's doing it again this year. And my 10-year-old goes around and tries to have people buy extra tickets and stuff like that. So, and it's funny because her job last year was to go and pre-rip the raffle tickets. And so, and any money she made, she could keep, and any tip money. And she said, "Can I donate it back?" And so you know that you're doing something right as a parent when they want to do that because they see the benefit of the nonprofit for these kids.
That must have made you so proud.
It did. So at least we're doing something right.
Yeah.
Was all of this harder than you expected?
It was. It was a lot harder. So we couldn't have done it without our attorney and getting everything in line and all of that jazz. But what's funny is, so not 8 weeks to the day of them passing, we had approval from the state. And so it went through so fast. And we got approval the Tuesday before our event the first year.
Oh, good. That
So,
was good. That
yeah.
was that was good
A little
timing.
stressful.
Yeah.
A little
bet it
stressful.
was, yeah.
But we got it. And, it was wild. So, and what's funny is 2022, my husband actually ran for, they call it Visionary of the Year now for Leukemia Lymphoma Society.
Oh, yeah.
And so we learned a lot of our fundraising tactics from that. And he actually won Man of the Year that year.
Oh, did he really?
And so it's funny because one of the gentlemen that passed away that started the whole thing, he actually was at his dinner. And so that's the last photo that we have with him. So it's all tying back to giving back and being from the heart and being authentic as much as you can. And so people can see who you really are.
So you really are a family of giving.
We are.
Yeah.
We are.
And involved in your community.
Yeah. So regarding our community, so like I said, we've been through it all with the community. We are heavy sponsors of the schools. Anytime that they ask, absolutely, you let us know. And so our kids go to school there. We go to all of the sporting events, whether our kids are playing or not. We go and support and encourage people to go also to fill the stands, that kind of stuff. And so it's interesting because 2018, we actually started what's called as Rancho's Rigs. And I started as a business or an event for my real estate side. And it's kind of blossomed into the nonprofit and real estate, kind of putting it on a little bit. And it's fun because it's one free day. So I say this and I sound old when I say it, but back in my day, when I was little,
we say it all the time.
See, so good. I'm in good company.
Yes, you are.
When I was little, there used to be this thing called a May Day, where kids would go out and there would be fun games and cakewalks, and you could go and touch a bunch of cool stuff and all free. And so the Ranchos doesn't have anything like that. And so I said, well, we need to have something like that. They had Flatlanders Parade, which has been there for decades. But I'm like, I feel like we need something in June. And so the first Saturday in June, we do Rancho's Rigs. We have a ton of different trucks, fire trucks, police vehicles, all the SWAT stuff. We've had CHP bring their helicopter out before. We've had the skydivers come out. And so we have everybody kind of go and climb over all these tractors and stuff and take pictures with them all. And we have a canine demonstration and all of that. And so it's just a free day for people to come out and enjoy the community. And then it's also a way for all these businesses that are local to the ranchos and all of that to be able to gain more business.
Right.
So that way we're building that community.
So you're building community. You're creating a wonderful event for people to participate. Plus, you're building your database that supports your business.
Correct.
Yeah.
That is
there's that little thing.
Correct. So out of curiosity, what is the size of your database?
So my database is just over 3,000.
Okay. That's a very healthy database.
It's healthy.
Yeah. Very healthy.
And that's the interesting thing is a lot of it has to do with other business owners or attorneys or probate attorneys specifically. That kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's interesting because some of them, it's like, well, I'm not coming out there.
Yeah.
But, and then there's things like Ryan DeYoung and I are really good friends because our daughters cheered together.
Yeah.
And so it's fun to see that connection in different aspects.
You're talking about developing real estate the relationship way, and that's how we have developed our businesses over the years. Since Pam and I have been in the business for 25 years or more, is using and not having the opportunity for the online leads that we now have that opportunity and are very grateful for. And so there's that dichotomy between getting out of the office, getting away from the computer to being involved with your community at any level, but you're involved at a high level. So you seems like you have managed to develop a business that is across all platforms, both relationship and technical. So do you have an online leads business? How do you
So I did used to. I used to pay for leads, but I found that the people that were on our team weren't calling them.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, if you want it, then I'll pay for it. If you don't want it, I'm not going to pay for it.
Yeah.
And so I've pivoted into teaching them, and we still have that list. So they still go and call from that list because until they tell you stop calling, we're going to keep calling, or unless they're on the do not call list. Yeah. I'm pretty stickler on that stuff. But realistically, I tell them, get out there, invite your people, invite your friends, Have your friends invite their friends and keep growing your database that way. It's going to get you farther than a cold lead will. You know, realistically, you can convert leads into friends and all of that. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
But the thing is you've got a better chance of friends converting friends and then keep going that way. You've got a better conversion rate than you do a cold lead.
Oh, there's absolutely no question about that. I mean, a cold lead, you know, they don't know you, they don't trust you, you know, but a warm lead, somebody has been referred by somebody that they trust. I mean, that is definitely the better way to get your business if you can develop that. But I mean, it blows me away that you're going to so many events. I mean, you said this, and I don't think I heard this wrong, that you go to everything that your kids are involved in, but the events that the schools are putting on, you go just to support the school.
Correct.
Even if your kids are not involved in it.
Correct.
Just to help fill the stand.
Correct. So yesterday there was baseball for the middle school, and we went to go support. So my nephew and all of his best friends are on the team. So I was like, well, we're going to go see Maddox play.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. And so we go, and of course softball is playing at the same time. So we go over and watch softball for a little bit too and fill the stands.
And see your clients and future clients.
Correct.
So that's
and it's all about brand awareness too.
Yeah.
It is twofold. One, we're being authentic because we're genuinely supporting everyone.
Right.
Right. And trying to fill the stands and all of that. But other part to that is you're building a brand. Your brand has a face to it. And if you're not showing up, they will forget the brand.
Yeah, they will. Definitely.
Tell us about how you developed your brand.
So, like I said, I mean, I just hit the gate swinging. And
how did you know how to do that? How did you know?
Keller Williams was really good about teaching how to do brands and DBAs
so you had a lot
and
of
all
mentoring.
of that. So I had quite a bit with that. And honestly, I just had a conversation with my attorney and said, okay, what do I need? Let's do this. So we already had the corporation set up. And so that was quite funny to begin with, because he's like, you can't be so basic with your name, Noelle. And I said, well, try it and see if it's there. And sure enough, he's like, I'll be damned. And I was like, sometimes you just have to be basic.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it really is. Everybody just makes it more complicated than sometimes it needs to be. And that's for everything. And so, you know, realistically, whenever I created the company, I had the vision of being able to be the CEO and still sell. Now the vision has changed. So my 7 to 10 year plan is to be a CEO that is basically obsolete. So everyone else is in the company and running the company. So, and that's my 7 to 10 year goal, that's a heavy goal.
Yeah, that is a heavy goal.
So what are you going to do? So you're going to be present in the company, but you are going
I'm going to be mentoring and leading.
So, okay. So you're just
going to be a true team lead.
Correct. I am not going to be selling. I'm not
you're
going
to step away from the sales piece.
Correct.
Okay.
Good luck with that.
Well,
I've heard that.
Yeah.
So
good luck with that. Here's the problem with that. And I challenge anybody who's watching today to give us your input on how to better do this. But the thing is that real estate is about relationships.
Correct.
And we truly do get belly to belly with our clients.
Correct.
They become like friends and family. And especially when you've been you're already seeing this, but double the amount of time that you've been in, double the amount of clients that you're working with. And now, you know, you've sold houses to people that have children that grow up and they go, oh, you have to use Noelle. I mean, she's our family real estate agent.
Correct.
So now fast forward, you're trying to be out of production, but here is this person who says, you've sold all my family homes and you're like family to us. We want you to sell us a home. So those are the challenges
I've heard that
you have. It's very difficult because it's like saying no to your family.
Well, but there's probably ways though you can do that. You can leverage other people. You can be very much involved with the client and then have other people help with pieces of it. So
even whenever I started my team, and it was just my marketing girl out of area, and it was my executive assistant and me, it was still my team. Yeah. My team will handle this. Not a problem. It's a we, not a me.
Right.
There you go.
And even now it's still a we. And so I feel the presentation that I do with clients and how I present the team, yes, they get me, but they also get these other people as well. So even if I'm not available, and I tell everyone, even now, I tell them, you know, I have lupus and fibromyalgia and chronic migraines. And on top of everything else that I do, there's no cure for that, unfortunately. They're working on it, but no cure. And so sometimes I have bad days. And so if I do have a bad day, my team does step in to aid whenever I can't handle it. And so that way it gives me an opportunity to reset if my body genuinely is failing.
Right.
And so it's interesting because we just closed a transaction in October, and my team was busy, couldn't do open houses. So I ended up doing the open house, and I left that open house and went straight to the ER for kidney failure.
Oh my goodness.
The seller called and he's like, hey, I'm trying to get some feedback from the open house. How did it go? And I said, I will have to call you later. I'm at the ER. And he goes, weren't you just at my house? I said, I was. I left straight and went to the ER. And he goes, oh, is everything okay? I said, no, I'm just having a lupus flare. It's fine. I'll be better. Just give me a little bit and I'll give you your feedback. Yeah. And he's like, okay, take care of yourself. And it's interesting because I'm open and transparent with my clients and let them know, like, this is what's going on. But understand that I'm still going to take care of you.
Yeah.
And if I'm not physically there, someone else will.
Someone else will. Yeah.
And so it's letting that boundary be there and letting that precedence be there so they know upfront what to expect. Yeah. So, because it is a relationship.
And you cue it up with we.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's the critical part. That a lot of teams, and this is visually what I've seen over the years from teams, whenever teams are formed, it's still a me mentality from the team leader. Yeah. And that's the biggest part. That's one thing that I learned. I will never be a me team. I will be a we team. So even whenever I hire people, before you officially get your swag and you're joined into the team, you actually get to meet the other people on the team and we get to decide, is this going to be a good personality mesh or not? Because I want the longevity. I don't want turn and burn. That's not who I am. Because I don't want to have to keep training people.
Well, yeah. I mean, the longer you can get them to stay with you, the more opportunity that you have for the stickiness.
Correct.
Yeah.
So my agent who's with us right now, she's been with us for 5 years. So, and she started as an EA actually because we had to transition her in because she wasn't licensed. So she started as an unlicensed EA and transitioned in.
That's fantastic.
So
tell us a little bit about your social media.
Yes.
We talked a little bit about branding. So now the social media, the Instagram, your strategy, share with us.
Yeah.
So I started out the gate. The minute that I started the team in May of 2020, I immediately said I want to have a brand. So Chelsea helped me build my entire, she called it the grid. It's the logo, it's the color scheme, it's the look, the aesthetic, and everything that I want.
And it's very evident when you look
I
look at your Instagram page or the whatever that's called.
The grid. It's cohesive.
It's cohesive. You can just tell the subtlety of the pink.
She was actually mentioning that. She was saying, look at this. She was looking at everything and she said, you can see that she's got these pinks, the soft colors, everything going for her branding.
It's very intentional.
Yeah.
Very intentional. And even all of our events, it's all the exact same. Everything mimics over to every event too. So even our Easter, so that way everything is pretty and looks the same.
Yeah.
That's just that girly girl of you.
It's that girly girl of me. But realistically, it's all part of it. And so I had a vision. I had a brand that I wanted to build. And so I wanted, do you guys remember Ethel Cronin? So from back in the ranchos, she basically sold 3/4 of the ranchos. I mean, it was her and Paul Sabaji. Honestly, at that point. I know.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you, if you mention Ethel to him, he'll be like, oh, yep. So, because she sold a lot of the Western homes out there for Western. And so it's interesting because my office is actually in her old office.
Oh, is it?
And I actually sold the building.
Oh my God.
And so it's so like full circle. But everyone called her for the Queen of the Ranchos.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was in the small unit originally in 2020 and her daughter was like, well, you're the Queen of the Ranchos now. And I was like, no, not quite. And it's funny because Bo Miracle tells me I'm the Queen of the Ranchos. And it's so funny. I'm like.
And that's his market
as
well.
Not quite. He's in the Madeira. So he does a lot of Madeira. But it's so funny just to hear.
But what an honor.
Yes.
What an honor that is to be told that.
Yeah. And so it's funny because I want to have for other agents to call and say, hey, I've got this listing. Can you explain what it's not selling for? Why it's not selling? Tell me what I need to do. And I'm happy to help.
Yeah.
That's the funny part. I don't care what brokerage you're at.
Yeah.
I'll give you advice if you ask.
Right.
So realistically, at the end of the day, that's who I am. And so I've built my brand so that way it will continue to scale and be aesthetic, but not just please to other agents. We have a lot of agents that follow me and mimic what we do. Great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Please do. Copy and repeat.
Yeah.
Let's go. But a lot of the content that we're putting out now, my marketing team, she has changed it to be more buyer and seller driven. And so it's a lot of how-tos, a lot of what to do's or what not to do's, things that will help clients be able to better their lives or what they're planning to do. So if they're looking to sell their house, great. These are the things that you need to do in order to prep it to sell.
Yeah, I saw that in your social media.
So you were focused on agent attraction, and now it's sort of shifting.
Correct.
To client facing.
Correct.
Okay.
So it's client facing 100%. And community facing. So that way people know, hey, we're involved. We're doing everything that we can for the community.
So you have a lot of followers, something
I do.
127,000.
I have 125,000 followers on Instagram.
Well, by now it's 127, I'm sure. And that's on Instagram.
That's just on Instagram,
right.
Yes.
And I know that Connor will have your Instagram handle.
Perfect.
So that way we don't have to go over that here. But that will be showing up here in a minute. So we know you have a lot of followers.
Yes.
That took a lot of work.
It did. So it took a few years. So Chelsea built it up. We got up to about 5,000 with Chelsea. And then
Now Chelsea's in Portland at this point?
She's in Portland.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Tammany Hall. She was.
Is that really her name?
That's really her name. Yeah. Tammany Hall. She helped build me to the over 100,000. Wow. So
What
she
was the secret?
I don't know what happened.
Consistency.
That is critical.
Yeah.
Consistency is very important with the social media algorithms. If you're not consistent, it's not going to work.
Yeah. That's what everybody tells us.
She's good at hooks. Let's get a
So
little technical.
no, we actually found the secret sauce was hacks. So house hacks at that time, that was 21 to 22 and a half ish, 2021 to 2022, halfway through the year. It was hacks. So people wanted to learn tips and tricks to make their house a little bit better or cleaner or what have you. And so that was right when Instagram was or TikTok was really picking up. And so you could mimic those same things onto the algorithm for Instagram. And Instagram said, hey, this is hot over there. Let's make it hot over here. And so it really took off.
Oh, wow.
And
so that's that
DIY stuff. Exactly.
Stuff is why you had that in there. Very intelligent.
And so we did a lot of those, and then it started pulling back. And so then we switched gears and went to agent focus, and then we switched gears again here recently and went to client focus. So it's just interesting the way that everything is kind of going around.
But it still sounds like the common thread has just been the consistency.
Correct.
You get something that works, and when it starts winding down, not working the way that it would, then you shift to
Correct.
something else. But you're consistently out there.
Correct.
How often do you post?
So we post, and I say we because we're a team.
Yeah.
We do have the marketing team. We post 5 days a week minimum. So there's one Monday through Friday every week. So we have started shifting where I post at least one personal thing per week because we've noticed that because I was actually up to 136,000 followers at one point. We did start removing a lot of the bots. Whenever Tina joined in 2023, we removed a lot of the bots because you get quite a bit. Whenever you start getting that large, you get a lot of bots and all of that. So we started removing those. And then we went through and removed deleted accounts and all of that. So we've narrowed it down quite a bit. So that way it's a true 125. And then we've noticed that the algorithm started going down on my view count. And so I said, and the engagement account went down. And so I said, well, what's going on? So then we started looking and we noticed that it is very business oriented. It's not really personal. I didn't post anything about my kids really or my husband or anything. And so
not
I've
allowing
noticed
your followers to get to know you.
me personally, correct. So for instance, we just posted one this week. I posted on the 13th and I heard a sound bit that resonated to my bones about it's basically about mom friendships, right? And you can't control everybody. You're not always going to be the person's first pick. And I heard it twofold. So I heard it for the mom side of things and the mom friendship side, but then I also heard it for business because not everybody's going to pick you, and that's okay. And so I heard it for both, and I said, I'm going to use this sound. I've got to do it. And I put some funny videos of myself into it, and I put it together. And it's now over 25,000 views in just a couple days. And I'm like, uh-oh, it's starting to take off. My daughter's super mad because it's a really awful video of her in it. And she's like, well, sorry, I'm not removing it. It is what it is. But it's funny to see how when you're being true to yourself and you post that, that's what people want to see. Yeah. Is really what it is.
I completely agree. They want to see content that's authentic.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, and that's really what it boils down to. And so the more you're present, the more you're posting all of that. We've noticed that the reels are working better in the algorithms for whatever reason. And so we've been posting a lot more reels. So we even noticed on our listings. So we do a listing video for most of our listings, like most other people do. However, we noticed that if the agent is not in the video, the view count is down.
Oh, I'm
the engagement account is down. When prior, it was actually higher when the agent wasn't there.
Really?
So do you actively study this, or do you take so how much time a day do you spend working with your social media?
So we don't spend per day. We do about an hour to 2 hour call per month.
Okay.
Go over everything and shift gears. Because on average, the algorithm isn't changing every 2 weeks. It's just really not. Yeah. It's about every 3 weeks to a month. And so we're not super far behind when we go every month and talk. Right. So sometimes she'll say, like right now, she just said, hey, we need to switch to reels more. Okay.
Because reels are doing better than anything.
Reels are doing far better.
The other thing that I noticed about your reels is that they're really to the point.
Correct.
You get in there.
That first 3 seconds.
You get that message out there. If you're showing the house, you get through that house really quick. And I mean, because we can't keep their attention for very long. So you've got to start off, hit them with a message, shoot them a couple of pictures, and be gone.
Correct. And realistically, we study the retention rate. So on every single Instagram post, if you have it in a professional dashboard, you can actually go down into the bottom and look at the retention rate. See what anything less than 10% that are staying for the rest, it's not worth it. So you need to have it in the first until however many seconds that 10% or higher is. That's what you need to be able to grab people's attention.
You said you do 6 events a year.
Correct.
And these are client events, right?
Correct.
These are, you pull in all of your past clients, whether they
all
were last year.
For one.
All except for one.
We have one VIP. So,
well, tell us about that.
So our VIP event is specifically for clients who have given us or used us at least 5 times or more. So if it's not within that, we appreciate. You can come to the rest of them.
Right.
But we won't even tell you what the other one is.
5 of them are for your clients in general, and one is a VIP event.
What does a VIP event look like?
So it depends on the group at the time. So we've done private event, like we've done a private dinner. We've done, we did a Mother's Day shoot, which is actually really critical for one person because her son passed away right after. And so she'll never be able to have those photos again. And so those are really important for her. Somebody else who was at the photo shoot, she had just lost her mom. And so or just after we did the photo shoot. And so it's interesting to see that, right? We had somebody who had just had a baby and she used it as her maternity shoot. So I was like, hey, I don't care what you do. And so we hire a photographer. They come and take professional photos and they can be just them. And it's easy. And it's just being able to really, truly connect with those people that have really built our business.
This has been so good. Oh my gosh, we have to have you come back again because you have so much information to share. And I know our audience has really enjoyed getting to know you as we've enjoyed getting to know you as well. So Is there any last thing that you want to share with us, maybe about your nonprofit or an event you have coming up?
So we do have the nonprofit dinner coming up. It's May 16th.
Okay.
And we still have a few tables left over. So if anybody's interested, they're more than welcome to give us a call or shoot me a DM.
And how do they do that? How do they reach you?
They can call me on our cell phone at 559-360-4133, or they can message me on Instagram. So,
fantastic. Yeah. You have been a dream guest. Thank you so much for being with us today.
I'm just surprised I didn't cuss.